Hi ho, been to Agne. There you are. First again. Hi K Brown 127. Hi Lynn, Werner, Susan 0801. Beth Russell. Hi Coolway Sports. Hi, how are you? How is everybody? Today is Thursday. Hi Solar Chicken. I like that name, Solar Chicken. I hope everybody is doing okay. I hope everybody is healthy. I hope everybody is having a day. And I'm super excited about this day. Let's see, I'm super excited for a whole host of reasons. I got to hold my granddaughter this morning. That was big because I got a COVID test and I tested negative, and that allowed me to hold my granddaughter. So that was super exciting. And to look down at the face of someone who looks up at you, just smiles and smiles, is just a joy. And I'm also super excited to be talking to my friend Amanda Klotz. Now, Amanda and I have actually never physically met, but I think we're good friends. I like to think of us as being good friends because I love what she has been doing in the world, what she puts out in the world, how she openly talks about her faith, how she openly talks about her grief, how she openly rallied people to support her husband, and how she's brought us all along on this journey. And she and I are collaborating on a new project that we're going to talk about today. And I just always like to talk to people who raise us all up above the noise. That's really a lot of my mission, is to honor the voices, elevate the voices, share the voices of people who are trying to bring us up above the noise and move humanity forward. And that's certainly what Amanda is doing. So I wanted to talk today. We're going to talk about love. We're going to talk about life. We're going to talk about grief. We're going to talk about how life wants us to carry all these emotions at the same time, and how nobody really talks about that or tells you that, and how you have to learn to do that. So I'm hoping we're going to have, oh, there she is. I told her her work cut out. She'd come train me or help me. But she's super busy. There she is.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm just home here in Laurel Canyon.
Oh, good. You have your hair down.
I know. Maria, I got a makeover. This is all new. This is extensions.
Oh, it's extensions. Everybody always asks me if I have extensions, but this is a gift from my mother, I guess.
Oh.
No, I don't. But those are all extensions. Cool.
Yes. I love doing makeovers. I often will chop my hair or, put bangs or something. I love doing makeovers. I feel like they just make you feel like a whole new person. You're like, who am I now? Like, I need all new outfits. Like, it's just fun. So
who are you now?
I actually feel like I've gone back in time. I haven't had long hair since 2014 when I was doing Bullets Over Broadway on Broadway, and I chopped my hair. So I feel like I've gone back in time. I feel like I'm a younger version of myself. Is what I'm telling myself.
Oh, I love that idea that, how we can each do something that can maybe take us back in time to a time where we maybe felt younger, more alive, who knows what it is, but that by just kind of giving yourself extensions, you feel younger.
Yeah. Or just, just like different, it's just fun to feel like there's a new,
Yeah. So what I was talking about, Amanda, I was saying that you and I haven't actually physically met, but I feel so connected to you because we've exchanged messages. And I was saying before you came on here how inspired I've been by your journey and your willingness to share your faith, your willingness to share your highs and your lows, your hopes and your dashed hopes. And I want to just check in with you today, because grief is like that. There's a good day, there's a bad day, and then there's just a day. Yeah. So for people who also might be grieving, and I always have maintained that so many of us are grieving all kinds of things. Mm-hmm. How's your temperature today?
It was such an interesting thing. I had a great morning, and then I went to go play tennis, and I was playing tennis, And all of a sudden, as I was playing tennis, I had music playing on, and Coldplay came on, and Coldplay is my favorite band. But it just made me start thinking of Nick. And all of a sudden, like as I'm playing tennis, I got really sad, and I got like almost like I was gonna have a panic attack in a way. And I had a good friend with me playing tennis too, so that kind of helped, because I was just like, okay, deep breaths, like everything's fine, you're okay. And I kind of had to talk myself out of the spiral a little bit, because I was getting a little sad and teary-eyed. And then literally at that same second, a friend of mine sent me a picture of Nick from a year ago holding Elvis in a little cafe by where I teach here in LA. And so it was just kind of like another, like,
Yeah.
knife to the heart. And so I had a bit of a morning, and then I was driving home, and then you're okay again. And
Yeah.
I think, like, for me, that's what grief has been a lot of like minutes where I am on the brink of a panic attack, tears, and then 2 minutes later, I'm okay, and I'm back in normal life. It's very, very strange and hard to put a temperature on, you know?
I think that's so important what you're saying, because people have an image of grief. They might think of somebody in a room on the floor and they're not getting up, and they don't realize that you can go play tennis and be grieving. You can have a
Yeah.
panic attack and be grieving. You can go get a coffee with someone 15 minutes later and be laughing, but you're still grieving.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of unexpected kind of road of grief. It's good, it's bad, it's full of panic attacks, it's sad. And then people think sometimes, oh, she's good, we don't have to worry about it anymore. And then you're all alone and you fall apart, right?
Yeah, yeah. Or, at nights are always
Yeah,
hard for me. I put Elvis down and I eat dinner and I start doing, that's sometimes the first chance I get to check emails is after I put him to bed.
yeah,
And I'll eat dinner, check emails, and then I'll turn the TV on and I'll really miss my person. I'll really miss him. I'll miss, sitting there with him and talking to him and having somebody there. But you're right. And then you go to bed and I wake up and I see Elvis and I'm completely, I'm like, hi, hi, honey. Like, oh, I love
yeah.
you, and kisses and hugs. And it's such a roller coaster. And, I don't know if it ever really ends. I mean, I've been told that it gets easier. It never goes away.
Hmm.
Um, but it gets easier. And so I guess that's what you have to look forward to, that it gets easier.
And that's complicated too, because you want it to go away and you don't want it to go away.
Yes. Oh my gosh, this is so true, Maria. Like there's days where there'll be like a 3 or 4 day span where I'm so great and I'm doing great and I'm laughing and I'm smiling and I'm outside, and then I feel guilty. Sometimes I'm like, should I be feeling okay like this right now? Should I be happy? Should I be doing, all of these things and staying super busy? Am I allowing myself time to grieve? Should I be smiling and happy all this like this? And so you're right. There's a guilt to also feeling
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. And I think what's interesting is you've shared your journey so publicly, and yet there's so many millions of people who are in similar boats to you, or similar lost I was looking at, even on my Instagram today, people saying I shared the one of the pictures you of that sculpture with the
Oh,
guy's insides kind of ripped out, and people were sharing, I lost my daughter, I lost my sister, I lost my mom, I lost my dad. And these people go through our world, right? We're standing next to them in the Starbucks line. We're behind them in the car, and we don't know their pain and their grief, right?
right.
And do you feel like people? Do you feel that you're glad you shared your journey? That people have embraced you? Has that made it in any way a little bit easier, or do you sometimes wish it were more private?
Um, no, I think that I'm actually super grateful for all of the love and support that came
Yeah.
my way when, as soon as I started sharing Nick's story. I felt in the beginning I had to share it because his symptoms were so unlike everything that was on the news at that time.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have to share this, because if there's anyone else sitting at home really tired and not being able to get up, but they don't have any other symptoms, they need to know that maybe they need to take it seriously. They need to get checked, or they need to not leave the house and affect other people. I mean, so but then, after I started sharing it, oh my God, thank God I did, because the amount of support that I got, I'd be in the hospital with Nick, and I would just, what can we do for something? The flood of information. I was talking to doctors from Israel, from Chicago, Denver, nurses. I mean, it was incredible. And it made me feel like I was doing something, because
Yeah.
at a time where you feel so hopeless, because you can't be in the hospital by his side every day, until I was able to go in. So it was, it
So
was,
that's the great side of social media. What Amanda is saying right here, that people flooded you with love, with suggestions, with support. Were you surprised at the movement you were able to create on behalf of your husband?
I absolutely, I'm still blown away by it. I've told you I'm writing a book with my little sister, a memoir about everything that happened. And in order to kind of jolt my memory, I go back into my Instagram archives and look at all the things that I saved and posted and the stories I did. And I see the videos of people singing and dancing with me every day at 3 p.m. I- I'm I'm blown away still. Like every night when I'm writing and I look, it's amazing. I mean, I can't, all over the world, from little kids to old men in nursing homes that are 90 holding onto a walker, singing and dancing for Nick. It was incredible.
My friend Sydney, who works with me, said, the one thing I want to know from Amanda is, like, where did she get the strength to organize all of that, to keep it going, to have that brave face? Because for sure I would have been in bed.
Yeah. I think we all handle trauma differently.
Yeah.
How we all handle grief differently. We all handle success differently. Because we're individuals, and this is who we are. I have learned for myself, I went through a divorce about well, 6 years ago. And I kind of was the same with my divorce. I am a power through kind of person. I have to keep moving. I have to keep working. I have to go outside and jump rope every single day, even if I just got the worst news in the world. That is who I am. I have to be active.
Yeah.
It's how I deal with stress, anxiety, and trauma. So I think, there's that. You know, I just have, I have a really strong belief in God, and faith in Him, and faith that He has us, and He had me during that time, and we were working together.
You had one of your posts where I felt a deep connection to you was when your husband was, in the hospital, and you shared a quote, or you shared a prayer with God, that part of it is thy will be done, regardless of what we want thy will to be. We all pray for happy endings, good outcomes, positive results, right? I know I do it every day myself. And there is that prayer that thy will be done, even if it's not what we pray for. That's about acceptance. It's
Mhm.
And where did you get that? Where do you get to a place of thy will be done, even if thy will is not what I want?
Mhm. Well, it was about halfway in through Nick's stay, and the doctors called me and they said, there's nothing else we can do. We are giving him an hour, maybe two, to live, and there's really nothing we can do. We're maxed out on medicines. We've done everything we can. And I was next to Nick at the time, and I was staring at a room full of doctors and nurses looking at me, and had told me, say your goodbyes. And they left, and they all left me, and I was praying over Nick, and honestly, it had just come to me because I had I had been, meditating, and I had been working with, Reiki healers, and I had been doing a lot of different things,
Yeah.
because I was just searching, I was searching
Yeah.
for anything and everything to help. And there's something very raw about standing next to your husband, and every doctor at Cedar Sinai in the ICU is saying it's done.
Yeah.
So I was standing over him, and I was praying, and I said, God, I will never understand it. I won't, but there's nothing else I can do. I'm begging you for his life. I'm begging you that you keep him alive, but it's
Yeah.
your.
Yeah, and I think that that's the thing that all of us who struggle with grief and who struggle with losing a parent, losing a spouse, losing a child,
Mhm.
the "thy will be done" part, um, allowing that to really be and to accept that
Yeah.
requires incredible faith, incredible strength and stamina. And I have said it myself in my life. So when I saw you saying it, that's when I reached out. I was like, okay, like "thy will be done." Wow, that really takes strength, and it takes just, we got to dig in and carry on. And that's always, I think, the challenge really for people dealing with grief is the carrying on part that we talked
Mhm.
about. And one of the things I think that you've done so well, Amanda, is also go, okay, I've taken suggestions from people. I'm starting tennis. I'm starting something new. I liked that you said, like, people have suggested start something new that you didn't do with
Mhm.
that person.
Mhm.
And that's actually really helped you.
Oh, yes, it really has. It was such a great piece of advice
Yeah.
my best friend in New York gave to me, and it's just been so helpful because it doesn't have any memories tied to Nick,
Yes.
and I think, when you're trying to move on, and
Yeah.
I don't mean that in a bad way, of course. I wish that I didn't have to move on, but I do, I have to move forward. I have to be there for Elvis and be there for myself. And so in efforts to do that, having something new
Right.
is with no ties to my past life has been so wonderful. And I'm outside and I'm hitting something.
Yeah, and
And
I
I'm
think that that's, people have, as you said in the beginning, so many different ways of coping. But I think that's so great that you shared that somebody gave you that as a suggestion and that it actually works for you. One of the other things you've done is you've made these T-shirts, right?
yes.
And we're collaborating on one, and it says "Hooray for Sunday." I don't know if you can see this. Probably it looks better on her than on me. Yeah, it looks way better on her. It's because we have the Sunday paper, and this interview with Amanda will be in the Sunday paper, and everybody in the Sunday paper is inspiring hearts and minds, and we're all trying to move humanity forward. And these shirts, part of the proceeds will go to the Women's Alzheimer's Movement, because November is Alzheimer's and Caregivers Month. So for the millions of people who have Alzheimer's and dementia, and the millions and millions and millions of people who are working as caregivers. So Amanda was a caregiver for her husband. There's so many people out there caregiving special needs kids, people with Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, ALS, cancer, you name it. And so this T-shirt. But now tell me how you got these Hooray, how you started with these Hooray shirts.
Yeah, so I I love it. I love it. And I also, I mean, I love Sundays,
Yes, yes,
Sunday.
I love Sundays too. I love this.
Sunday, we grew up I grew up in Ohio. There's 5 kids in my family.
Me
Sundays
too.
were
Five
what?
kids. I'm
You
five kids
too?
too. Yeah.
So, we grew up, it was, church on Sundays, then donuts, and then my dad took us on an adventure, a secret adventure. We never knew what it was. So Sundays has just always been a family day of, fun and surprises for me. And I've started doing that with Elvis on Sundays. We do a little family day on Sundays. And so in general, I just love the day Sunday. And so does Anna in Paris. She loves Sundays too. So
Yes.
we love this collab. This is such a great collab.
So, but you did other shirts. So this one, as we said, is we're gonna sell on the Sunday paper, and it's gonna go to Alzheimer's and caregiving. But you've raised money for COVID. What are the other shirts? Talk a little bit about what you've done.
Yeah, so each month we do 2 new designs. One design always goes to a charity. 50% of the proceeds go to a charity. And then the other design is kind of a fun design that we let our following on Instagram pick and choose from, so that we upload and do something that they want to buy. And then we have these like little capsule collections too. But basically when we started this, Maria, the kindness that was shown to me and Elvis and my whole family, Nick's whole family, through all of this, we were just blown away. I mean, the people are innately kind,
Yes.
and they want to help.
Yes.
And they want to do, whatever they can. What's beautiful, my neighbor's son here was delivering vegan muffins because that's what he could give, I mean, but it's just so beautiful. So day after day, we're seeing so much kindness, and we just wanted to do something to give back, and especially to the health heroes that were helping Nick every day, because I mean, I'm telling you, when you are sitting in an ICU day in and day out, and you watch these nurses and these doctors, at the time they weren't risking their life anymore for Nick, but they were risking their lives for other, COVID patients that were still in the hospital. I mean, you're in awe. They're so smart. They are so articulate. They don't sit down. They don't sit down for a second on a 12-hour shift. Once they go sit down, something beeps, they come back in. Then something needs changed. Then something. I mean, they are never not working. Your mind is blown. And so we're witnessing this day in and day out. We had this idea for this Hooray for t-shirt back in January. It just, as ideas come and go, this one came and it went. And Anna, flew out from Paris to live with me during this pandemic and be a support system to me. And one day she was like, let's do our t-shirts. And I was like, oh my God, we should. And she said, let's start it with Hooray for Life and Hooray for Health Heroes, and donate 50% of the proceeds to COVID response at the World Health Organization. And I was like, yes, that's genius. And so that's how it started. So we've given to the World Health Organization. We've given to Make-A-Wish Foundation for Kids Miracles. We did Hooray for Voting and did I Am a Voter. We did Hooray for T-shirts and gave to Donors Choose to support T-shirts or teachers organizations for schools. And then this month is with you to donate money to the Alzheimer's.
I love that. Well, we're so grateful to be partnering with you, because Alzheimer's is one of those diseases that doesn't have a survivor yet, but we're really hopeful that we're going to find the research, and it disproportionately impacts women, because women are the 2/3 of all the caregivers, also 2/3 of all those who get dementia. So we're trying to really fund the research. So this collaboration with you will be great. People are asking, how do you get the t-shirt? So you go on to Amanda's site and also onto the Sunday paper. Yes. And remember, she said 50% goes to Wham. So you see, and then hopefully you'll start your own Sunday tradition. And if you don't subscribe to the Sunday paper, I hope you will. But finally, I think, Amanda, what do you want us to, how can people support you now? How can people who want to be there for you now, who want to encourage you forward, love you forward, what's the best way to do that?
Oh, that's so kind of you. Honestly, I don't think I can ask for anything more. I'm telling you, I'm still blown away by all the love and support that came to me when this happened. I truly would not be standing here today if it hadn't happened.
That's great.
Yeah, I feel too. I can't think of the word. To ask for any more help would be, I can't do it. I just, I'll say prayers and just, hope that I, can raise a great little boy and provide for him. And you know,
And speaking of
keep moving
providing for
forward.
him, you have a industry, you're a businesswoman, so
Yeah.
you sell things for fitness, you have jump ropes, so you can go on and find out all the things that Amanda is doing. I have started to try to jump rope in your honor. I've gotten about 2 or 3 things in. So.
Woohoo! But
Fun,
that's what you
fun.
do. You just start with 1 or 2 jumps, and then every day you add 3 or 4 jumps, and then 5 or 6 jumps.
Because
Yeah.
that's one of the big things, you know, if you want to lead a brain healthy lifestyle, exercise is a huge part of what we're learning about with Alzheimer's, right? So
Really.
what we're learning that sleep is so important, brain health is so important, and
Mhm.
exercise is a big part of that. So
Yeah.
you're a brain health warrior as well because you're promoting exercise and the joy of that and connection and communication, which is all the things to lead a brain healthy life as well.
Well, thank you for that. You know, I actually, when I teach my classes, I make a huge, usually speech about how we need to connect our brain to what our
Yeah.
body is doing. And a lot of times I'll say, you know, you can be on a treadmill and you can be getting good exercise, but you're reading a magazine or you're thinking about something else and you're not connecting, like, what am I doing right now? Why am I here? What muscles am I working? How can I work them harder? How can I work them, you know, better? And so a lot of times when I teach, I do a lot of moves that challenge the connection of the brain to the body so that you have to think, so that you can't think about brunch or lunch or your boyfriend or your job. You have to connect and you have to think because it's too important. And, you know, we give ourselves sometimes only 20 minutes to work out. And if you throw it away by thinking about, you know, The Bachelor or something, you know,
Yeah.
you're missing it. You're missing it. And your body will reward you when you connect your brain to your body.
That's everybody saying really good point. That is a really good point. It's one that we stress all the time at the Women's
Mm-hmm.
Alzheimer's Movement, but to hear it from you, Amanda, makes it more, it makes it land differently because we only have one of these,
That's
right? And
right.
people are just now realizing that there's so much we can do in our day-to-day life to
Yes.
affect this. So
Yeah.
how we move, whether we jump rope, whether we try new things, that
Go on a walk, you know,
go on
or
a walk, be
you
in
know,
nature, be
yeah,
around people who bring you joy
yes.
and who love you is also a really big thing. So Amanda, I want to thank you so much. I'm super
Thank you.
excited
Me
about our
too. November
collaboration.
1st, everybody. These will be out November 1st.
Yes,
And follow
hooray
at
for,
Hooray for, and you can find the website to buy the t-shirt on the Hooray for Instagram.
okay, great. Well, I hope I see you sometime soon. I send you
I
all
hope so
my
too.
love.
Thank you, Maria.
Big
Mwah.
hug. Bye, Amanda.
Bye-bye.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.